Hey y'all, Jami ThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, I want to talk about Belle Collective. All right, we got to get into. I want to go back a little bit to episode 2 and then come back to episode 3. So first of all, a lot of the turmoil right now is between Letitia and Latrice. Okay, child, these L names be getting me toe up, similar to them M names over there on Love and Marriage Huntsville. But either way, so they're having their situation based on Mandy, is what it seems like to me. Y'all know last season, Latrice's friend Mandy came to Letitia with some information or whatnot, learned some things about her husband, and here we are, right? So in the last episode, Letitia brings on her friend Shantae. Shantae decides that she's gonna approach Latrice at an event regarding her friendship with Letitia. And I feel like, girl, that really was not your place. But that is what she did. Latrice tells her, girl, listen, you can't talk to me. You're Letitia's friend. I have nothing to say to you. Please do not approach me on that. Like, girl, we're good, okay? So later on, Latrice did say that she felt like Letitia had something to do with it. And Letitia was like, girl, I didn't. I ain't had nothing to do with that. I think even Marie tried to tell Latrice that Letitia had nothing to do with it. I want to say that I believe that she did. I believe that Letitia very well had something to do with Shantae approaching Latrice. I think that one, she wants her to see what it feels like, maybe, right? Based on what happened at her house when Mandy was there. You know, Latrice kind of already knew her and Tambra a little bit of what was happening, but never really gave Tisha the heads up. And I understand that because it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Like, that's between y'all. Like, and let's be honest, whether Latrice went to Letitia about what Mandy said before, during, after, it wouldn't have mattered, because I do believe that Letitia would have always thought that Latrice had something to do with that. You had something to do with your friend telling me that on camera. Okay. When, in all honesty, to me, at the end of the day, the problematic person in this is Glenn. Okay, to me, the most problematic person. But I can't say that Letitia shouldn't feel a way about Latrice. You know, I mean, I can say that because your issue, like, be mad at Mandy. Okay. Because honestly, I don't feel like Letitia told her to do it. But again, I don't know what behind the scenes conversations were said. Just like we don't necessarily know what behind the scenes conversations were said between Letitia and her friend Shantae. Right? I believe that she did that. Going back to the point of Letitia sending Shantae to confront Latrice, I do feel like, one, a friend was brought on this show for her to have Letitia's back. And likely go up against Mandy should that need to happen at any capacity. Also for to confront Letitia so she can see how that feels. And 3, I just feel like that's her MO. It was something about the vibes. This is why I believe it more than anything. When the young lady approached Latrice, talking at her the entire time this was happening, Letitia just stood there. I can't remember if she was kind of rocking a little bit, like just being like, you know, just seeing what's going on or whatever. But she had a front row seat and she just stood there while her friend did that. So to me, I do feel like just off of observing observing that piece, I'm like, yeah, she did that. And Latrice would know because y'all probably did that before. Ain't no telling. Okay. Yeah, and that's the short answer. She did. Yeah, she tried to rectify it later by checking her friend and telling her, like, girl, you know, I was going to have a conversation with her, but I didn't need you to do anything at that moment, and yada, 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 or whatever the case is. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. If it's very well given to me that you could have had an off-camera conversation with her and then doing something completely different on camera. And the body language the day that it happened really showed to me that you knew that was going to happen. Shantae gives me the type of friend that's going to tell you already, like, girl, when I see her, I'm going to say something. I just want you to know, right? So you knew that. And the moment that it was happening, I didn't see her go up there and try and stop her and say, hey, back up, back up. You know, I saw her watching. So for me, it is what it is. That's part of the reason that Latrice is mad now. Latrice is upset from last season because she feels like, okay, Letitia, you trying to put all your marital issues on me and you need to blame the man that you with. Is she not wrong with that? She not wrong with that at all. Like, girl, go blame that man. You trying to find other people to put it on when it's right there in your house, right? So of course Selena has a party, right? The ladies are outside, they're talking or whatever, and Letitia wants to automatically start the conversation with an apology. Girl, I guess, honey. Because I feel like when y'all came outside, you knew that Latrice probably was going to get in your tail about that. So you wanted to kind of go ahead and disarm her by saying, okay, I apologize. Let me go and get this. I apologize to you. Okay, I guess. All right. Either way, Latrice wasn't having it. She wasn't accepting the apology because she felt like Letitia was full of it. So it is what it is. It didn't really go anywhere. It seems like the ladies were getting so heated to the point that they were about to get like actually fight or something. Because Latrice says that Letitia had been calling her a former employees trying to, I guess, get tea on her or something. Letitia denies it. Latrice is like, well, you called Josh because you did, girl. You called Josh. Right. So I think somebody said call Josh. They got Josh on the phone. Josh was adamant that Letitia had been calling him and then said that Letitia was sitting up there lying. Now, listen, I don't know. I feel like, honestly, although I have liked Joshy when he was on this show, it is a situation of you don't know who to trust. Because why are you running to any of the Bells to give information on me when I looked out for you? Why are you doing that? Right? And then Letitia, why are you receiving information? Why you ain't tell me? Why did my employee had to tell me that y'all had been talking about me, but you call yourself a friend? Yeah. So Letitia's on the phone talking about I got our messages and this and that. And again, Josh is saying that she's not telling the truth. Next thing you know, I think one of Latrice's friends got in Tisha's face and said something to her, and Glenn ended up snatching Letitia up or pushing her to the back or whatever, like, get back, get back. Y'all not gonna jump my wife or anything like that. So he also tells her, like, the people you talking to Latrice's employees. So if you're talking to one of them, like, you're not gonna stand a chance because they always gonna agree with whatever it is she says or say whatever it is that she wants them to say in so many words, right? That's what he was saying. So Letitia was enjoying the fact that Glenn came in and swooped her up. Okay, she was like, I'm so glad to see this is why I married this man, okay, because he gonna have my back, this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, girl. He gonna have your back but embarrass your front. It's crazy. But that's no. That's what you like. So either way, okay. He swooped his wife up, all right? He told me ain't nobody finna disrespect my wife but me. That's all I heard. So Carrie says Marie was not right by Letitia's side as she expected her to be. I guess. But from the very beginning though, Carrie, because you were getting on Marie's last nerve, honestly. Marie was always trying to allow them to have this conversation to hash their stuff out. She wasn't trying to get in the middle of it from the very beginning. I don't know if she thought they were really going to jump Letitia, and I don't know if she even saw that when their friend said something to her. So I don't know, but either way, that's what's going on. Marie did ask Latrice, like, what was that all about? Right? Letitia was like, Latrice was like, I just feel like she's trying to destroy my reputation and my business. But I don't know, that's your friend. I can't tell you why she do the stuff that she do. Really, that's your friend, so you should know a little more than me, right? Oh, okay. But Mandy tells her that she can't be one-sided. And Marie says, no. I'm for what's right. Okay? I'm for what's right. Now, I also feel like, Mandy, baby, don't be trying to come in and tell somebody what they can't be. Okay? Honestly, I was with Latrice. Marie can be whatever she want to be. And I'm still going to stand on how I feel. Okay? That's on her. Right? But Mandy says, so if she's wrong and you find out that everything Latrice has been saying is true, are you going to tell her that she wrong? And of course, Marie says she's going to do that, but we shall see. This is where Carrie decides to yell at everybody. Not really yell. She just said, hey, y'all, it's still Selena's party. Let's go in and party. And so I'm mentioning that because I was looking at Marie the whole time. And Marie cannot stand Carrie. I do not care. That is the body language that is given. She was looking at her like, did she looked over at Essie? Did she looked over at the other ladies? Like, do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Yeah, I don't like this girl. Okay. So that's that. Meanwhile, we get a doggone confessional of Letitia over here crying because she said, I never in my life felt like I was going to be jumped like that. I haven't been treated like that. Like, I don't even know. Like, she hates me. Like, I've never. And it's like, girl, shut up. Dry them tears up, ma'am. Dry those tears up because you didn't care when you was doing it to Tambra, and we ain't gonna never let you forget it. We're never gonna let you forget that. You did not care when it was Tambra, and y'all pulled a stunt on more than one occasion when it came to Tambra. And had Akeisha stayed on the show long enough, you would have tried to pull a stunt with her. Okay? So stop all that crying. And then when she got with Marie, I was never in a situation before where I was about to get jumped. Like, girl, y'all acting like y'all weren't about to jump Latrice at the reunion. Remember that? When y'all got all up in her face, dang near standing over the girl or whatever. Like, come on now. Come on now. Don't let's not. You can't sit up here and play certain games and then want to cry when it's your turn. All right. No, 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 no. So Marie comes over to sit with Letitia. Of course, they're talking, right? Um, she tells her that, Latrice still feels like I sent Shantae over there to be in her face or whatever. And that's not the case. Then she starts showing text messages of her talking to Josh, and those text messages didn't really prove anything. It looks like Letitia sent the photo to Josh of her talking to somebody else, where she sent a Cash App or Apple Pay, and I'm just like, girl, where are the rest of the messages? Where is the before or the after? Like, the messages didn't show much of anything. What it only did was confirm that you had Josh's contact. You have been in contact with him, and you could have likely been in contact with him more recently. Okay, so it didn't necessarily prove anything. Letitia says that, which was interesting. She says they're mad at me because the weapons formed against me are now prospering towards them. And I'm like, what weapons was formed against you? What are you talking about? Because Mandy approached you about your man? Mm-mm. 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 So Marie is thinking that Latrice is just throwing everything out of proportion after she saw all the texts. Now, that's Marie's opinion, because she's saying she saw all the texts. That's what she's saying. We didn't see all the text. The little glimpse of what we saw, we could barely read. And the glimpse of what we saw didn't seem like it was saying nothing. Okay? Because I feel like the screenshot that Letitia took and put into the text messages for whatever conversation they were having, that took up most of the screen. So I don't know what was said, but either way, Shantae arrives, right? And you know what else? Let me go back. When Marie says that Latrice is blowing this all out of proportion, it sounds to me that, again, Letitia has been in contact with Joshy. It's just not how it may seem, type of thing. Right? So I'm just wondering, okay? Because again, what Joshy said was, you called me, right? Which is interesting, because going back to when they got into it, what happened? Latrice said, you've been contacting my ex-employees, right? The first thing Letitia said is, I haven't called your employee. She didn't say call. She didn't say how you contacted them. She just said you contacted them, right? So when they got into it on the phone, Josh said, you're lying. You called me, right? But Letitia keeps talking about text messages. And I feel like she wants to only show these text messages so it could show Josh being the one wanting to give information up about Latrice versus showing what she said. See, Letitia also smart too. Okay, she may have sat in the house and played like a dumb housewife, but she not completely stupid, okay? So she knew she was okay with having conversations via text when it comes to him talking SHI. But when it comes to me talking SHI, let me get you on the phone. As if he's not going to probably record at some point, okay? Because why would you sit on the phone and really talk to somebody that's ready to expose someone else? They'll be ready to expose you at some point too. That's my assumption, okay? So either way, it was what it was, okay? Shantae arrives. She immediately gets ready to checking Marie. That's going to be my issue with Shantae, thinking that she could go around and check folks, okay? No, ma'am. I'm rocking with Marie on this, okay? I can't. So Marie stood. So she's like, I felt like you did not have Letitia's back, how you should have had her back. And Marie is like, girl, I stood in front of Latrice. When Latrice was trying to get at her the first time or whatever, I stood in front of Latrice. But if it's 4 or 5 people coming after her, girl, what you want me to do? Girl, you do know I still have a medical condition, right? How much you really want me to do? Okay? Now, I probably could fight one chick, because I was over here about to fight Latrice not too long ago. But girl, I can't be fighting 4, 5 of them now. Now, come on now. Now, come on now, girl. And you about younger than me, girl. Come on now. So Letitia now saying, she confused because Marie was by Latrice's side afterwards, I guess, instead of leaving. But I don't really feel like Marie was by Latrice's side. I feel like she was just trying to get an understanding of the situation, and she likely wasn't ready to leave yet either. Okay? So either way, Marie feels like that's not her battle. And Marie not wrong. That is not her battle. That's between Letitia and this girl over here, Latrice, okay? Ain't got nothing to do with me. So Shantae feels like, but that's my girl though, right? That's my girl. So I'm gonna look out for her. Marie's like, girl, that's my girl too. Okay? But when it came down to me and Latrice, Letitia didn't get all the way in there. Yeah, she probably was in the middle at times of trying to be even kill, like, playing the role that I'm playing in so many words, okay? Not really trying to choose a side, but at times I feel like she was choosing more Latree's side than my side. So you weren't there, so you don't know. You were not there, so you don't really know. It's just that simple. I was with Marie 1000%. So now, and it's so funny when you watch the flashbacks of Marie, it's like you keep giving this girl chances, 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 and she gonna wear your ass out. And guess what? Here we are. Here we are, just a little piece. So I think that Marie is taking the very role she should be taking. All right, y'all. Real quick, just a little piece. Before we get back into the video, I want to tell y'all about something that I've actually been using lately. It's called Nourish. If you're anything like me, sometimes you just want to eat better or figure out what works with your body, but getting access to a registered dietitian can feel like a whole process. Yeah, that's why I was really curious to try Nourish. And one thing that I like is how easy the app is to use. Like, I literally just went onto the app. I was able to answer questions about my health goals and what I was looking for. And I was able to book an appointment with a registered dietitian that same day. I also appreciate that it's not one of those situations where someone just throws a generic plan at you and expects you to figure it out. My registered dietitian actually asked me about my routine, about my lifestyle, about the foods that I like, and what I'm realistically able to stick to. Because let's be honest, if it's not realistic, we're not doing it. Another thing that I do like as well is that many of the Nourish dietitians are covered by the insurance. Okay. So a lot of people end up paying little to nothing for their sessions. That's why I really think it's worth it for you to go and check and see if you qualify. If you've been wanting to get serious about your nutrition, your health, or just understanding your body better, I definitely recommend checking out Nourish. You can click the link in my description to get started with Nourish today. All right, now let's get back into the video. And don't say, I ain't never tell you nothing. So Letitia says she don't need, I'm going to say this, I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody to have my back. I'm protected and favored. Okay. Okay, girl. So either way, Latrice, later on, she decided she wanted to redo Selena's birthday party because, of course, it kind of got messed up. But that's Selena's own fault. She the one that brought y'all outside. For her to even bring y'all outside to have that conversation as well, she knew how y'all was going to act. She knew how y'all was going to cut up. She knew everybody that was going to be involved. She knew what she was doing. Okay. But I think it was very sweet of Latrice to try to redo this for Selena. Of course, she even invited Marie over to her house. See, I like this Marie side, right? I like that she and Latrice can coexist with each other and get to a better place, right? I don't think it'll ever be any like locked in friendship, but it's better than what it was, and I like that. So I hope they don't end up being on the outs later in the season, considering the fact that Marie was like, "Oh, Latrice is blowing this out of proportion." Now, first of all, Latrice not gonna want to hear that. So I don't know. You might have to just stand to the side. I don't know, but hopefully they can keep it cool for the rest of the season, right? So of course they talk about Letitia, but before they get to that, they talk about these blood clots that Latrice had that she was not taking serious, that she was downplaying. Okay. Girl, I'm glad you got to the hospital. I'm glad you got it sorted out. And I'm hoping that you have the proper measures to get that managed and taken care of moving forward. I will hope that it's like preventable and stuff, but it sounded scary when they were talking about it. Okay. Like, Charles, a little worried though. But I'm glad she's doing well for the most part, right? And then we get into Letitia, right? Marie wants to get rid of the outside noise and move forward as a collective. And I'm like, what is the outside noise? Who is the outside noise? What is and move forward as a collective? Who are the outside? Is Shantae and Mandy the outside noise? Because the noise really is Glenn for me. It's really Glenn. And y'all don't even need Shantae and Mandy to even make the collective. So, okay, either way, she wants the ladies to move forward, right? And you could tell Latrice is still not there yet. All right. And Marie feels like, there should be some type of hope, though. Because remember, me and you was beefing for about 3 seasons, and here we are. We're cool. So we should be able to move forward. But guess what, though? It still took time. So right now, their friendship is fractured. So it's going to take some time. Meanwhile, we get to Carrie, right? Y'all know Carrie has her business. She's been doing really good over there in the Mississippi area. But the restaurant over in Mobile, it's not doing so great. So her parents comes over. She gets a chance to talk to them about it. And they're suggesting that she sell it. She don't want to do that. And it kind of leaves me to believe her husband told her the same thing. right? She overstresses herself on the restaurants, and I think that it may affect their marriage, of course. And he might be like, if you just sell it, that's one problem off our back. All right. And we can figure some other stuff out. So it seems like the husband may be down for that too, right? She don't want to sell it because she says she may lose money. And I can understand that aspect too. I don't know how long she's had it. Maybe she wants to just give it a full year, 2 years, or however many, and just see what can happen from it. Are you doing the right marketing? Like, or can you, like, what? I'm wondering, is it the food? Is it the location? Do you need to expand the menu? Like, what's really going on? Why are you not making anything? The first question is, what side of town is it on? But either way, she's afraid of losing money. But her husband says, sometimes you got to cut your losses. She says she's not ready yet. Listen, I feel like she need to listen to her parents and her husband. Her husband, I feel like for her, I wonder what her zodiac sign is just a bit. But for her, it's giving a little bit of control. Of course, I understand that, and maybe, more so power. Like she don't want to share the idea. She doesn't want to share the restaurant. She worked really hard, and I completely get that. And she probably is concerned about not only just failing, but likely what other people may have to say about her, quote unquote, failing and having to shut down her business. But if it's going to put you in a better place mentally, physically, and all, girl, let that thing go. Let it go. Shut that down to open up something else. And I would like to know, how much have you been taking the L on lately financially, right? You're going to lose money, but how much money are you already losing? Because if it's not performing well, it sounds like you're already at that place of losing money. So how much are you really going to gain by keeping it open? I think you should estimate those numbers and be realistic. And if it's not bringing in the realistic amount that you need, you might need to cut it off a bit sooner. And it's not about like failing at all. Girl, you might be saving a lot of money. While your husband's saying cut your losses, child, you might be saving a pretty coin. That's just what I think. But, y'all let me know. Letitia has to sit down with her mama. And the main things I really just want to get into, because her mom is a joke to me, just a little bit. She just got added to her mom's credit card. And as I'm watching these two ladies talk, I can tell her mom does not really like Glenn, but tolerates Glenn for her daughter. And she knows her daughter ain't never leaving. And I feel like if you felt such a way and you were hesitant about your daughter getting married and being with this man, why didn't you been add her to a credit card? Why didn't you go ahead and add her to a credit card a long time ago? And it's always interesting, and this isn't shade to her mom at all, but this is just like the human element of things, It's so interesting how we see the flaws on others, but we don't see them within ourselves, They talk about marriage. And Letitia tells her mom that she wants her own independence now. She wants to have her own accounts, right? They have a joint account. They've been having one since they've been together this entire time. Now she wants her own account. So I'm confused. Who's in charge of the businesses then? Is it still you? Or does Glenn own half of your businesses as well? I'm just wondering that. And are you preparing yourself for a divorce because some of your businesses, he's probably going to get a substantial amount from those? And when you create a whole new one, it's like, okay, you can have those businesses, but you can't have this one. Like, what's the plan? So I don't know. Y'all let me know. But I want to go back to what I said is interesting about how, you see the flaws on others, but not within yourself. Like her mama was married 6 times. And Letitia tried to phrase it as, my mama, she didn't play. Like, if she sees something, she done. As for me, I stay in it. Y'all high-key the same. Your mother received, in my opinion, similar abuse, likely repeatedly from different men, and you just got it from one. Honestly, that don't make your situation no better or none of that. Not that she was trying to make it sound like that, but for me, it didn't sound good at all. 6 times, and you already been disliking this man, but you didn't see the other men. Oh, my mama don't like it. She been cut it out. If your mama was so quick to cut off situations, why did she marry them? Why did she go and get married 6 different times? And she could have got married to somebody more than one time. I don't know. But the way that Letitia said it sounded like it was 6 different men that she got married to 6 different times. So why didn't you cut them off much sooner than that? You know what I'm saying? Why would you wait until you get married to the person to realize this ain't it? Like, girl. And then your daughter is in her 40s now. She's just now being added as an authorized user on your card. If you weren't gonna do it much earlier on, you could at least did it when she had her first child. Like, girl, I can't. I don't know. I don't understand the logic, and this is why I feel like she's a joke to me. Okay, but either way, girl, that's what she got going on with her mama. Okay, her mom said something about what did she say? Her mom said something about yes. So Letitia talked about how if she misses Glenn's call, he'll tell her, FaceTime me back so I can see you. What? And the mom said, next time he FaceTime you, you should have a man in the bed. And it's like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, you're giving all of this advice now, but I feel like it should have been given a long time ago. Ha 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 ha. But I don't know. I feel like Letitia could have been extremely DICK-matized, in all honesty. And you know also how sometimes young girls do, right? They mamas could be telling them about a person the whole time, and they don't care. They want who they want, and she gonna stick beside them because her mama did say that Letitia wanted to be the perfect wife. So here we are. But I don't think her mom likes this guy at all. She just tolerates him, and I don't fault her mom for that at all. Okay, but let's keep going. So Cliff and Latrice are talking, and once he gets home, she decided to cook him an expired meal. Okay, he has arrived to a cooked expired meal because almost everything in the house was expired. Okay, well, I'll say this: almost every ingredient was expired. Okay, so of course he talks to Latrice about Glenn and Letitia's issues, which I would have been like, if you don't get out my face, because I don't care anything about what they got going on. He's trying to defend Glenn because he feels like Glenn is fighting for his marriage. He's trying to save his marriage. So like give him some grace and just help him out. No, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay. And I thought it was so interesting to hear her husband Cliff say that, you know, we as Black people, you know, we're powerful and we should be over here building legacy and not tearing it down. And Cliff, until you really give Joshy a genuine apology, and Joshy is allowed to come back onto the show, I don't want to hear nothing you talking about. Because the way that you treated Joshy for no reason, to me, I don't know. I don't like that. Okay? And that sounds to me a little bit like manipulation tactics to get what it is that you want. And I don't like it. Okay? But either way, I'm with Latrice. Child, listen, you ain't finna rush me into liking nobody. Okay? And that's just what it is. I'm not rocking with them right now, so I'm going to put them on pause, period. Now, let's get to Letitia and Glenn. Because Glenn wants to know more about this TV show that she's working on because he's not included in it. Okay. He's used to being included in all her business affairs, but this is one she's not including him in. He wants them to build together and not be alone or anything. And you know, let me go back. No. We're going to go forward because it's going to come up in this conversation. So he says he knows his worth. Okay. Why is it that only you can know your worth, but when it's time for her to talk about the things that she wants, which is connected to her knowing her worth, it's a problem for you? He's talking about he's more than a paycheck because, you know, that's the only time he get attention, when she wants some and when, you know, she wants some money. Okay. Well, do you get her the attention that she feels that she should need? Because some of y'all also don't realize or know that you are more than a dang old paycheck. A lot of y'all feel like because you do have the paycheck, okay, the bigger check in the household, you are taking care of things, then everything should go your damn way. Okay. But anywho, that's that. Let's see. So he says that he thinks she is going to pretty much keep him on the outs until he messes up again or something like that, right? She gonna keep him on the outs. If he mess up again, she gonna leave, right? And she gonna leave like a thief in the night. And she pretty much agrees and says, well, yeah, kind of like that, pretty much. Okay, I'm like, she absolutely should do that. She absolutely should do that. Are you cool? So he says to her, you know, when you say that, that means to me that you doubt everything that I've been doing. And I'm like, well, why not look at it at the fact that you have created this doubt within her instead of looking at how she's choosing to move as if it's going to affect you and she's going to withdraw herself and all of that. Like, why not just look at how you have created this space for her to operate in this way? Right? Because I feel like you doing that will then allow you to see yourself as the damn problem. And I feel like you don't want to really see that. I don't think you want to really sit with that. You know what I'm saying? I hated this convo in my personal because I feel like it was all about what he wants. and why she's not being fair and all of that. Like, I just hated this whole little sit down that they had. It's like he wants her to be a dumb housewife and just sit at home. Okay, I'm like, girl, if you don't learn a little piece from Wendy Elsefo and go get your own accounts and learn and know how to do this and know how to do that. And some part of me feels like, could Tisha know how to do that? Like, you over here bailing people out, you managing all these businesses, you running around talking about boss women this, boss women that, branches, but the whole time you got one account with this man. I get that, but somebody lying. It's giving a little piece of Kirk and Rashida for me. Just a little bit. I don't know. Y'all might be trying to pull a Kirk and Rashida. This could just be all for the show. Y'all ain't really got no issues. Y'all just trying to put y'all best acting on or something like that. Like, that's the vibes that I'm giving. You mean to tell me this career-driven woman who talks about all these different businesses that she went and created didn't have her own bank account? And then tell your mom, now I got to go back and rewatch that scene and tell your mama, thank you so much for adding me to your credit card. It's also given that you added that little piece in there because you knew they would keep it in for editing and that the audience would react a certain way. Like, I don't know. I'm starting to like, it's not making sense. I can't be the only one. She goes on to tell this man that she wants to start her financial journey. First of all, I don't feel like he should know that. If he has so much control and you already not telling him about some of the business that you are trying to create over here with the TV show or anything else, why are you letting him know about the account that you about to go open? A separate account? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess she needed to tell him, but at the same time, like, and he gonna tell me I'm okay with that. You ain't got no choice but to be. Hello? She talking about something, I researched all of that. I looked up this and that. Did you, girl? You been looked it up. You always talk about how you're a businesswoman. You always try to play big sister to somebody. And you don't have your own account? I am so confusion at this point. Girl, y'all may be giving the real Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy. Okay? Y'all might be giving us that. Either that or it's giving Kirk and Rashida. Something's going wrong. All right? And then she follows it up with letting him know she wants to be celibate. And boy, did that piss him off. He gets up and walks out. You mean to tell me you don't want to have sex with your husband? No, I don't. I don't, actually. In case you were wondering, just to remind you, absolutely not. No, I don't. Child, a whole mess. But listen, that's all I got. All right. That's all I got on this latest episode of Belle Collective. I want you guys to leave your thoughts and comments down below. I am Jami ThatsMe. And of course, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'm never politicking, the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5-6 bank accounts every day, I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I've been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I've been fighting these niggas. If you speak on the street, I'll turn your birthday.